It's amazing when you stem from a family system and you are asking a lot of questions, mind-probing questions. How? Why? What is going on? I don't understand. Explain something to me. Can somebody just help me? That is what happens when we are raised from a dysfunctional home, when children are not given that proper attention that is needed. It does not end with you. It transcends to your children's children. Until somebody says, I'm done, I can't continue. This flow must stop. That is when life begins to have respite or peace or rest. It's so terrible that when we are raised from such a system, we are unconsciously passing the baton. Let me give you an example of a man that in their family, they're always losing their firstborn. And another son ran away for years, went into prison, went into exile. Finally, they met, they reconciled, and he brought his two sons for his dad to just bless them and pray for them. And guess what? The father wanted to cross his hand again, wanted to continue to perpetuate the error and the horror that has happened in the family system, losing all their firstborn sons. And one person said, no, I'm stopping this flow. Daddy, don't cross your hand. The guy was not intentionally doing it. It has become a natural thing for people to pass down the error that they inherited. I don't know what you have inherited from your parents. That inheritance must not continue. You must stop the flow. And I'm so excited that having this family here with me in the studio made me to know that there are people that are ready to put their faces to whatever happens because they are ready to stop the flow, cancel the pattern, not passing the baton to their next generation. And what brought us here? I just sat by myself. I've said it before. I want teenagers to talk, young adults to talk. I want to hear their hearts. What are you planning? What is going on? What is bothering you? Why is it that most of you have loggerheads with your parents? Is there anything you have in mind that you want to tell your dad, you want to tell your mom, and you don't have that confidence to tell them? Let me have you in the studio. Let's talk about it. Then we'll pass the message across to your parents. And guess what? That was when this family came into the picture. I don't want to go back to that. If you miss any of the podcasts, please go back and listen. Subscribe, listen, and share. Yes, every conversation of today is on you, baby girl, fine girl, oh, pretty baby. Oh my God. And everything was just all around you. Have you taken one or two things in with what you heard your mom said? You know how many times she has shed tears in this studio today, just bringing out what has kept her in bondage for a very long time. And that's one thing therapy does. Therapy is like going for the surgery. They open you up, suture you back, and you start healing. And before you know it, you become a whole person, complete, total. And that is exactly what has happened here today. Okay, let me start with, how did you feel when you heard your mom, opened up the can of worm or the can of snake, and you just, I'm sure you're wowing. Wow. How did you feel?
Thank you very much, Ma, for this opportunity to be able to speak here today. I'm so grateful, and I'm really blessed. When my mom was talking about all the experiences that she had, I was a bit surprised. Like, seeing her so vulnerable. She's somebody I've so much looked up to. I always used to think she was so perfect. I never knew she had wounds, that like unhealed wounds. I never even knew that she has gone through experiences like that even as a young girl, because she's so good at hiding her pains. Let me put it that way. She's very good at hiding her pains.
She masks.
Yes, ma.
That's what we call masking in therapy. She masks a lot.
And I think she only does things like that because she doesn't want us to see that she's in pain, because we so much look up to her. And imagine when you look up to somebody and you see the person in pain, you feel like this person I so much look up to is in pain. Will I be able to face my own problems like this? So I believe that's why she does that, and I really appreciate her for, talking about everything. And it has made me really understand why she's always her marriage is always she's always protecting me from, she's trying to protect me from the things that might have happened to her. She doesn't want it to occur to me too, because it's very painful, and I'm very sure it's because she loves me. She doesn't want that kind of thing to happen to somebody that she so much loves, and I really understand.
And you know when you were talking, I was just seeing your, looking at adults and see that's your innocent baby look and baby picture. I'm sure anytime she sees you and she remembers the way she looks and she knew what she went through and she remembered the things she went through, she was just like, oh God, wear knicker, sleep with knicker, take knife, you know what I'm saying? It's amazing when we have the privilege of opening up like this. Now, where I'm going now is, I really appreciate the fact that this is healing on its own, it's therapy on its own. At least everybody is now relating with understanding. It's not that it's only our husband and herself that are paddling their canoe. You too, you are able to come into the picture, and this will give you a broad understanding of what life is all about. Now, you made a statement that she behaves strong for people not to see. That is not how to live. I've seen people that behaved strong on the outside. I'm a very strong woman. And I've heard one of my children told me, Mommy, you are too strong. You are not showing the pressure. You are not showing weakness. This is not healthy. Truly, it wasn't healthy, because one can end up in a mental home. My story will come one day. I lost my mind. I had to go and see a psychiatric doctor because of what life threw at me. But today I'm a wounded healer. So I will not advise you, if you're hearing me, to bottle up and mask it and let your children think everything is proper. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't ever make your child your friend in the area of my husband did this. Look at what your daddy has done. Look at what your mommy has done. You don't do that to a child. You are preying on their emotions. You are making them to live a life of an adult as kids. Don't tell me, who else do I talk to? If my children are my friend, they are not your friend. Sorry. Get a professional help. Don't cry on the shoulders of these kids. They don't have the capacity. She said it. She said she was happy that her mother did not bring it out to her the way it is. Imagine if she has told her daughter, she cries on her daughter's shoulders. You don't do that to a child. You are messing up the mental, the emotional, the psychological life of that child by opening up to them your pain, reporting your husband, reporting your wife. They are not your counselors, they are your children. Get a good counselor, get a good therapist. Let that person walk you through the journey of your challenges, the journey of your pain, the journey of your shame. It's going to work better for you and you're going to heal faster. I needed to clear that to a heart that is listening to me wholeheartedly. Thank you so much. Yes, the floor is open. What are the things? Let's forget what you have known about your parents. Standing as a young child, a teenager, a young adult, how were you feeling that time when you felt choke? To an extent that you have to start having mental breakdown, having OCD. I want to understand how you felt at the time when all of these things are happening and it's choking you, you are almost losing your mind. How are you feeling like that?
I don't know how to act I don't know how to explain my emotions. I don't know how to understand, okay, if I'm angry, if I'm sad, if I'm happy most of the times. Because I don't know, I just always had this feeling in me that I'm not perfect enough. I'm not doing this enough. I don't know how to behave rightly. I don't know how to do this, because if I make any mistake, something will happen. I always had the fear of not being perfect enough. So that's why I try to do certain things over and over and over again in order to nullify the feeling. But I just noticed that feeling just keeps getting worse and worse, and that's where Like that's the way I grew up, always wanting to be perfect, always wanting to make people see me as perfect. Like that's why anytime I make any mistake, I can think about it for like a week, keep occurring to me, like, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Or if I
So
do
you
this
beat yourself every time.
all the time. I do not know how to undo when I make a mistake. That's what I noticed about myself. I don't know how to make mistakes. Like if I make a mistake, I'm going to think something is wrong with me. Like something is wrong. Something. I'm not normal because I just maybe made any form of mistake, and it's just something in me will just start telling me you're not normal. You're not like. It's not like something will be telling, but I won't just feel like a normal person if I make mistakes. So like that's why most of the time I'm always trying to act this way. I'll say, okay, this is not the way to act. I'll try to act the other way, and I'm always having this constant fear that I'm just going to ruin everything. I'm not going to be like, because I'm the firstborn, my siblings are going to be looking at me like I'm not perfect, I'm not okay. So most of the time I'm just always like keeping to myself. I don't like to talk. I just like to like, I don't really know how to explain it, but I just like to be alone most of the time. And when I feel like, oh, people are going to talk, if I'm not talking to people enough, I'll start talking to people again so that they will not think that something is wrong with me or I'm not perfect. Like that's just the way that I grew up. I don't know
Your
why.
discovery about OCD, play it to the world in the light of your experience. I need to hear that before I come.
I don't know. The feeling just came to my mind. Like, why am I always doing a particular thing over and over again, trying to nullify the feeling of not feeling perfect? So I was not like, because like maybe if I say something wrong and I tell somebody, if I say something to somebody and the person does not like it, I'll start saying, why did I say that? I will not try to do another thing again in order to like try to avert the situation, not to make the person feel bad. So I don't know, somebody just told me one day that like life is not this deep. Try to take it easy on yourself. Why are you always trying to please everybody? Why are you always trying to be perfect? So is it normal for friends to quarrel? They tell me it's normal now. It's normal. You don't have to always want to say the right thing there all the time. Sometimes it's okay to make mistakes. I'm like, I don't think so. It's not okay. It's not normal. It's not, they will not tell me it's normal, it's not that deep. People say the wrong things sometimes. It doesn't mean that something is wrong with them. I just started remembering like what does obsessive compulsive disorder mean? And because somebody told me, the person just told me that you act like somebody that has OCD, like you are obsessed with wanting things to be like in a particular,
yes, cross the T's.
Yes, ma. But before, I just used to think people that had OCD were only afraid of germs. I did not know that OCD also has to do with the fear of hurting people, the fear of wanting to be perfect. So that's why I keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Was there any time your parents complained or somebody complained about this repetition of doing things? Was there any time that it's even appreciated? Because sometimes when you want to be a perfectionist, you want everything to be done well, were you commended or complimented on those things that you do that probably seen it as being positive, not being negative? Was there any time any of them acknowledged it, that you are doing well, you have done something nice? Was there any time you were affirmed in the area of this being wanting to be a perfectionist?
Okay, yes, ma. My parents actually compliment me if I do something right. If I maybe handle the situation very well, they tell me, oh, Precious, you did this very well. But like at that point I'll become so happy, like, okay, yes, I did the right thing, I'm perfect now. But if they like complain, like, why did you do this? My system will just go upside down. Like, Precious, we didn't do it very well. Why are you behaving like this? No,
you're acting like a child.
Yes.
Did they say that?
Yes. They just tell me, oh, no, you are the firstborn, you're not supposed to do this.
Calm down. Firstborn is not to die. You are the firstborn, yes. Firstborns are guinea pigs, actually. They use you as an experimental child. So parents, hear me. Don't kill your firstborn. Let your kids be normal. Go ahead. I need to say that.
So at that point, I'll become so happy, like in my system, that I've done something finally right. So that's why, like, all the time, I'm always struggling. I'm always trying to find, like, I'm always looking for affirmations from people a lot. I do it a lot. I like it when people tell me, oh, Precious, you are beautiful. At that point, I will hold it so much. I don't even know why I'm like, sometimes, why am I like that?
You are not bad. I will tell you why you are like that today. Actually, I would have to use this medium to teach your parents and every mother, every father out there that your daughter or your son is not abnormal having to have a feeling that affirm me, appreciates me, validates me. You said something before. I'm trying to look for a way to bring it in. You said something. You said you wish your dad would just say you are beautiful. So you said he said something. He's here. He's listening to you. Yes, go ahead and tell us what he needs to hear. That we are not in the jury, but we are trying to explain things to ourselves. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, ma. So, as a like growing up child, I don't know. He said he was always telling me.
He does. No, one thing about parenting, I need to balance this. Children are very selfish, in all honesty. When there's a problem in the family, the children will say it's my fault if I have done better. It is natural with every child. That's why children get into drugs, to masturbation, to pornography. They start misbehaving. I'm a professional. This is the truth. Children are selfish. If anything happens in a home, the first thing a child will say, did you feel like that? Let me go back to your mom. When your mom left and it has to be you alone with your dad, have you ever felt at a point in time that if I was better, maybe they would not fight? Have you ever felt like that?
Yes, ma'am.
That's the thing. She's here. True. That's how every child felt. The moment there's a problem in the home, the first thing you will hear your child say is my fault. If I was a good boy, if I was a good girl, if I'm intelligent, my mom and dad will not fight. So you are not out of order by feeling that way. You understand? Now, the question is, your dad, because kids are naturally selfish, and coming to your personality, they take more of negative than positive because you're a thinker. And what speaks love to you is different, which I'm still going to talk about. So that's why it says that, but the ones that you do that is not good, that they complain about, is the one that resonated more in you. You understand now? That's exactly what happened. Because, go ahead, you said he says it, yes.
Yes, ma. He said he says it, but I don't remember.
Thank you. That's the way, parents, that is exactly the way it is. If you are the cat, that's why I try to joke things out when I try to rationalize. I try to play things down in my environment, because after this recording, everybody still go back to reflect. The moment of reflection, what people think more about is probably the negative. Because word flies. Words are like arrows. When a word goes out there, it hits something. It doesn't bounce back. So those words, the pain resonates more than pleasure. That's why people get addicted to drug, to sex, to all sorts. Because if I ask you, or ask anybody, what were the pleasurable memories you had 10 years ago? You might not remember. But if I ask you what painful memory you had 20 years ago, you will still remember, because the brain tends to remember pain more than pleasure. So go ahead.
So I grew up, I felt like I grew up not really feeling my daddy always just like, we just come at me and say, oh, you're so beautiful. Not the kind like, yeah, fine. Like the kind that maybe is like, is really amused, like is really fascinated by the way I look like you should just come on them, Precious, you're so beautiful, because I really take people's words seriously. I find so much meaning, especially my parents, but they don't know that any little thing that they say, I tend to take it to heart. Like, even if they say it out of anger and I know they don't mean it, sometimes I'll just be thinking, do they really mean what they said? Do I really not have sense? Am I really not thinking? Am I somebody that talks too much? But they don't know, though. I never really.
No, don't give them alibi. Don't explain it for them. Let them hear you. You are just opening up. I wish I could have 200 mothers and fathers that will sit like this, and people like you. You know how many kids or teenagers are feeling the same way, willing wishing their dad never said, "Sure, are you a dummy? Are you smart? Can't you think? Are you a dullard?" They say it. Sometimes they don't even, because of the financial pressure or whatever pressure, they are lashing out, but they don't know that the lash out has something to do with the person that is hearing. It's like dumping ground, you know what I mean? So please don't explain to them, because they are here. They are not going to be angry. I'm here to moderate. So go ahead and say they are learning, and other parents too are learning. Go ahead.
Yes. So, but like I said earlier, they don't really know that any little thing that they say, I tend to think of. For 2 weeks, I can be on one word, just one thing they said, but sometimes I want to take it out of my system. That no, I don't want to think about it, but it will just come up like. And I think that's what really made me start having low self-esteem. That's what started making me feel like maybe I'm not enough or something like that. Like even now, even if they even call me beautiful now, I don't believe them, because it's when I told my dad, "Why don't you call me beautiful?" And I said, "You can see the mirror now. You are beautiful now." I thought you knew. I said, I don't know. But later now, that's why saying you are beautiful. But it's when I started saying you should call me beautiful. That's when you started calling me. So,
Nice one.
So I don't even believe them when they say it again. So I'll just be telling myself, like, I'm beautiful.
It means that you are working on yourself.
Yes,
you are building your worth back and understanding that the whole world may not appreciate you, celebrate you, but you have to celebrate yourself.
Yes.
Wow. What again do they do? Because I need to wrap it up and just... Yes. Heart is open. People are ready. The world is ready. Your parents are also ready. And your mates are so glad that you were able to bring this out to your parents and parents all over the world. Go ahead.
Okay, ma. I feel like my parents they don't know that they scare me, but they really scare me. So it doesn't make me feel comfortable to tell them some things that maybe that I'm going through, because I feel like when they tell them, they'll just be looking at me with faces that are like, or you say, "No, don't talk that way. No, don't say this. No, don't say that." So they don't know that it has built so much fear inside of me that most of the time, if I want to talk to them, I'll just be so scared.
Even if somebody is likes you, or a guy comes to say you are beautiful and having a crush on you, it's difficult, right?
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable telling them all those kind of things. But I noticed that I feel comfortable telling my friends. So I don't think it's something that has to do with me being shy.
It's not being shy. It's the fact that home is not a safe place because of all that we have been discussing. You can't tell your mother that has been molested multiple times and say a guy, maybe when you are 25, she can, God forbid. You know what I mean? And that is how it is. How old are you?
It's now 19 this year.
Exactly. So and parents even forget that their kids are growing. They assume he's still a kid, she's still a kid, he's still a kid, she's still a kid. They don't know when a child metamorphosizes or when a child shifts to become an adult or a young adult. Because I'm a grandma and I have grown-up children, my last born is over 30. So I understand what I'm saying, apart from being a professional. Parents, we forget that there's a switch, that kids are no more the baby they used to change diaper and just clean the bumps. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So, I think that's the only thing. Because apart from that, they really try their best to give me everything. I noticed it. But I just don't like the fact that they always want me to be so perfect all the time. And I feel so abnormal when I make mistakes that I don't even understand the way I feel most of the time. So that's why sometimes I'll just be crying because I don't know how to explain the way I'm feeling. I don't know, because I feel like if I say something to not be perfect enough, so most of the time I just...
So even if you have to... So it took courage for you to even show up when I said you should say something.
Yes.
I'm sure, you may not be a perfect parent, but you can be a praying parent. It is obvious that these parents are praying parents. Whether perfect or no perfect, at least they are calling on God. And that God was the one that brought this to the public space. Now, let me start by letting you know, and parents all over the world, your child speaks 5 different love languages. And please fix your daughter in all of this. One of them is words of affirmation. If what speaks love to you is words of affirmation. For her, what makes her feel she's loved is when you affirm her. Now, let me digress here. Just imagine a guy comes. Thank God that the daddy was not a shadow dad. He's still there in the picture and he has given you some legacies. But if you are like this and a guy comes and say, "You're beautiful, I like your shape, you have good lips, you have good nose," and begins to, before you know it, you'll be on the bed with that guy. That's the truth. Because what speaks love to you is words of affirmation. Some children, all of us, your kids speaks a different love language, and nobody is 100% words of affirmation. So I'm going to be breaking it down. Some, what speaks love to them is words of affirmation. Affirm me, tell me you are beautiful. When you do well, let's go out for a dinner, let's gist, let's talk. Let's say something good about me. I just fixed my hair. Your hair is nice. I like your earrings. I like everything. Or you done well in class. You excel your friends. You are this, you are that. When a parent does that to a child, that what speaks love to them is words of affirmation, the child's self-esteem just goes to 1,000%. Now, some is quality time. Daddy, are you going again? Sure, you will not be with us. You are leaving again. What that child is saying is, be with me. What speaks love to me? It's quality time. Now, for instance, let me quickly go back a little bit on this love language. If you go to a market where they don't speak English and you don't speak their language, you will hold your money and nobody will buy from you. That is exactly how it is when you are speaking a language that does not mean love to the person you are speaking it to. They don't understand. It's like coming to be speaking German on this show and nobody hears German language. They will just be wondering, what are you saying? Now, so if your love language is quality time, your parents, every child speaks different love language. Daddy, where are you? Are you going again? Can't you be with us? That what speaks love. Yours is words of affirmation. You must be affirmed 24/7. That is what speaks love to you. Now, another one is physical touch. Hold you, hug you, just touch. In marriage, kids have it. Those kids that their love language speaks physical love, they are the children you see will just jump on you, hold you, touch your hand, hold your hand. Those kids are speaking a different love language apart from the quality time or words of affirmation. Then we have giving of gifts. Some people, what speaks love to them is, he gave me this. You bought this for me. This is for me. Nobody has 100%. We could be 40, 20, 10. Oh, he gave me this. He bought me an handkerchief. Oh, daddy bought me this blouse. Gifts is gifts. Now, if you have a guy, a person that comes to give you gifts, and your parents are not speaking what speaks love to you, you are going to drift as a female child. So if it's quality time, somebody strange gives you time. If it's words of affirmation, somebody keeps affirming you. If it is quality time and the person gives you attention, you are talking, he's listening, he's giggling, he's laughing. You just feel this person loves me. Then if it's physical touch, as long as the person touches you, then you are feeling comfortable. What I'm saying is, if your love language is words of affirmation, which in your own case, what speaks love to you is words of affirmation. Words will wound you. Like you said, when they say something, it sits with you for 1 week. Some people that their love language is not words of affirmation, they just brush it aside. That's our business. What is it saying? It's always good for parents to understand that what speaks love to their kids differs. That's why you cannot raise children as if they are general. You don't raise children lump sum. You raise them, you train them individually. What that will get, I'm sure you have siblings. How many are you? 4. Your other siblings, are they like you? Mm-hmm. Exactly not. Now, this temperament, I'm going to talk briefly about temperament. We have different personality type. Unfortunately, you are also in the class of the introverted. Now, if an introverted person speaks a love language that is words of affirmation, every word counts, because an introverted child in the class of a melancholy phlegmatic, they analyze every word until they are paralyzed. That is the weakness of your temperament as a thinker. Now, I'm not agreeing with this medical diagnosis, because what happened to you was because of where you are coming from. But because you're almost becoming a puzzle to yourself, a confusion to yourself, that is why people were saying you have perfectionist. Your trait, you're a thinker, a melancholy, and a phleg. You are not an extrovert, you are not a sanguine, you are not a choleric. So this your two combination of personality. Thank God you are my daughter. I will screen the man you must marry. that man you must marry must be your opposite, or else I don't want casualty in my life. Yeah, you won't add to my casualty case, because basically you are more of a phleg and a male. And those two temperaments, a phlegmatic is a perfectionist, no OCD matter. A melancholy is analytical, will brood. If you offend them, they will tell you the hour, the minute, the second, the moment. They will analyze it, they will brood over it, they will get angry, they will shout, you will see them going into drugs, going into gambling, medicating their pain. So your temperament is the reason for your withdrawal. You are like a snail. That temperament is like a snail. I don't want to finish all the temperaments. Maybe one of these days I'll just teach on temperament. But you are a thinker, and also what speaks love to you is words of affirmation. Now, you are in the class of an introvert, and you're also in the class of a temperament, a love language that speaks love by words. So words affect you, word wounds you. And that's why you have to be extremely careful. People like that, what you would do is very simple. When we are doing therapy with you, we'll communicate. What you're going to do is you keep validating yourself, you keep affirming yourself, you keep speaking whatever they have spoken. They don't have a choice. You can allow a bird to fly over your head, but you don't allow that bird to build his nest and start laying his eggs and incubate on your head and sit down for 21 days to ash. That is your life. So you have to make a decision to choose to work on those things. I'm happy you are a very good communicationist, and I'm not going to lie. Despite the fact that you were confronting your parents, you still used a method of them not to feel bad. I was the one that he said, let them talk. It means that you are a very intelligent girl. You have good communication skills. Keep it up and enjoy yourself. You don't have OCD. Perfection is good. God is perfect. That's why, I remember one of my sons, he stammers, he stutters. And I remember when he came home one day, I said, Mom, I'm not normal. And I was driving. I looked, I parked. I said, not normal. Who is that person that is not normal? And he said, in school, when I talk, they don't listen. When I talk, they said they don't hear that I'm not talking. They are not hearing me. I said, go and tell them they are deaf and they are dumb. Let them listen very well. That changed him because he's also a thinker. And his temperament is introverted too. I'm glad I said that. He just changed his countenance. And today, he's a naval officer. He's doing very well. What I'm saying is, if I had shut him down that day, parents, stop shutting down your kids. No matter the weakness, no matter what you see, when they see anything, don't shut them down. Listen. I know some of us parents, I'm rationalizing again. Some of us parents, we have a lot on our head. But notwithstanding, we can be overwhelming. But know that your child is an individual, is a person. It's not a wool, it's not a stone, it's not a chair. It's a life. Your child has life, and that life is growing and is brooding and is breeding. So you cannot afford to let your emotions, your extension of your aggression, don't transfer it to them. Moreover, parents, they didn't force you to come to this world. You are the one that told them to come. So manage them very well, manage their emotions, and of course you will enjoy them in your old age when you are loving, you're caring, you're always there to, they will also take care of you in your very old age. I want to say thank you to everyone that has been on this show. You've done well. Thank you so much, this amazing family. You have really, 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 really made me feel fulfilled in the area of this thing that I'm saying, this thing that I'm preaching, this thing I'm teaching. People don't understand. How? When am I going to pass it across to them? I do it on almost all my radio stations, but bringing face to this has really, really made me glad. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you, girl, for coming and just, letting the cat out of the net. All our viewers, I know you have taken so much in, and I know you have really, really, really learned a lot today. Please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Tell someone, share it, like it, and share it. I appreciate you for listening. We want to call it a quit today. And I want you to know that I really, really appreciate your time for watching this program. See you in the next podcast. Thank you for watching. Love you guys. Bye-bye. Bye.